Well, thank you for joining us again. Another episode here where we are actually breaking form for a moment. We would normally be covering the changing standard, but we wanted to interrupt that today for a minute. We have something of a news development, kind of breaking news, if you will.
Shouldn't we have some kind of a beeping?
Better, there we go. News flash. And we also had a question come in from a number of you that we wanted to answer here. But
Right. So Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened with the standard?
The IAQG, the International Aerospace Quality Group, they're the one that controls the development and the rollout of the aerospace standard. The original plan was they were going to release the new revision right away, or very, very shortly here. But they had a meeting in Singapore just recently that just happened where they have shot down they've voted down the current revision as it stands.
And we really don't know why at this point. Presumably it's something rather minor, but the IAQG is made up of sector groups. America's sector group, AAQG, there's a European, there's the Eastern sector group, and so we don't know what they're objecting to. We're on the assumption it's a minor issue, but what that has done, it's rolled the timeline. So now it looks like they're not going to release the AS9100 series group of standards until October.
Yeah. How do you see this affecting the folks who are upgrading to the new standard?
Well, one of the ways let's take a look at the existing timeline, and then from that we'll talk about what we see is going to happen. So if you notice, you'll see that the 9001 2015 was released in September of 15. And then we were anticipating now to have the AS9100 Rev D released. Then they were going to have to do the auditor training, so the auditors could actually audit to the Rev D, and then the aerospace revisions would actually begin. So they were going to theoretically start auditing these things in November, and then by June of 17, all future audits, whether they were surveillance or new certification audits, were going to be to the new standard, to the Rev D. And then, of course, by September, August-September timeframe, you had to have it done because in September, the ISO 9000 expires for 2008, which is built in its entirety in the current Rev C. So what that means then is this whole timeline starts sliding to the right. So if you look at the graphic we've got on there, you'll see that looking at a release of an October time frame, at best they could possibly do is November get the auditors out being trained, which would be a miracle if they get that done that quickly. Then by February, perhaps they'll be doing some audits, but at the current time they're not talking about moving the June time frame of 17.
That's what I think is kind of interesting about all of that. All this stuff has shifted, but that June of 17 date has stayed the same. They haven't moved that one at all.
Right, and there's a specific reason why they did that. They're locked in on the time frame. They've got to have this done by the September of 18 because the standard expires. And with Rev C, they got jammed up trying to get this done. Everyone postponed and didn't get ready for it. And there were registrars that were looking at even being suspended because they were having a hard time handling it. To avoid that, they're making sure they got plenty of time to do this. So that's where we are. This thing is backed up and jammed.
Yeah, and you might be looking at that in that graphic there where you've got all that space of time. You might be thinking, oh, well, there's some time there. There's some breathing room or whatever. But really, that would be a mistake. That's not the right thing. Like you said with Rev C, it kind of became a hair on fire issue. People waited until the last minute, and it just created more chaos than if they had planned accordingly.
And because they're doing this, I kind of anticipate it's going to be pretty chaotic anyway. So the smart thing to do is to start now and take a look at your system and the standard and how might you implement this way and make business sense while you have the time to be able to do that.
I think one of a question that comes to mind then is, well, how can you even begin to prepare or use this time wisely if the revision isn't even out until October.
That's a very good point. And I think it would be a valid point if, and I probably wouldn't want to do it either if I thought they were going to revamp the entire standard, but they're not. The major portions of the standard that are being changed are driven by ISO, which is locked in. So there may be some tweaking of the words, but nothing major should be changed.
So they'll be able to take the bulk of what's there, and you might have to tweak a thing or two, but for the most part, you should be getting a start on this now while you have a chance.
Right. And so that's why we're doing this video series now, is because we want to be able to provide you some guidance on what we see changes and how you might be able to implement some of that stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a good segue into, we mentioned that we had a common question come in from a lot of people, which was, are we able to help you guys out? And do we offer any actual help to this, to understanding or implementing these changes?
Yeah, that's actually the reason why we wanted to create this video series, was to provide some guidance in what we see the changes are and how you might implement them. But what we were asked beyond that by a number of clients is, okay, we have the videos, we like the videos, but are you guys going to be able to provide us any on-site help? And of course we'd welcome that opportunity to do that. That's what we do. And we also have some online learning. Can you talk to us about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a great resource. We've got a number of courses that we've built to kind of get you up to speed on the new standard and how that looks inside some of these individual or the upper level standards. In fact, our team actually is currently in production with our brand new AS9100 course. Like our other standards-based courses, it'll show you how to create a system that first meets your own needs and unique situation, while at the same time meeting the needs of the new RevD standard. So actually I got a glimpse at some of the stuff that's coming out of that course, and it's looking pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for it. So, and we're looking at a release date of around the middle of August.
So Mike, if folks are interested in taking that course, how do they get a hold of us to let us know? And do we offer any kind of discount or anything?
Yeah, we are offering a discount right now, actually specifically for this video series. There's a link in the description down below. There should be something on the screen as well that points you where you can go to see our listing of courses. But during checkout, if you use the code video, we're going to throw 20% off of any of our standards-based courses. So we've got the 9001 course, the AS course, 14001, anything that's covering the upper level standards, and 9001 as well. There'll be 20% off of that. Use the code video, but that'll be in the description.
One of the things we also ask you to continue to send us comments, questions, things that you'd like us to cover. We're going to pick back up in the next time looking at the changes to the standard, and really where we left off was we're going to look at some of the key principles that the new standard was written around. So
that's right.
So contact us.
Yep, you can contact us on our website. You can email us. Telegram, if you want to do that. Reach out to us anyway, send those questions, and we will see you next time, or we will pick up where we left off.